Little Durk. So there has been some updates and more information coming out. A lot of people think that he will be out before Christmas. And because of his connections, and he also just lets the lawyers do what they want. That means they could do some type of deal and he end up coming out. People think the only reason why they even came and got him is because when he heard that other people got arrested, he tried to flee and then started booking all these tickets and stuff, and that's why they came and got him. And that's what it boils down to, them not really having too much evidence to actually go somewhere, so they was kind of forced into coming to get him. And another thing is the countries that he was going to, apparently they're not countries that you could actually hide and stuff, that where there is laws that he could be able to get away with it. So them claiming that he tried to flee, he has all these shows and he's involved in the industry and he's constantly on tour doing all this stuff, so it doesn't make sense that he would try to flee. It's so funny because a lot of people talk about how these people that receive the keys to the city, they somehow end up getting a huge lawsuit, like it's some sort of at this point. And it is very upsetting to know that little Durk is in the cell right now behind this situation with Quando Rondo and Little Pab. And that's another thing, the Quando Rondo situation now. This is all happening because Quando Rondo isn't innocent. He did nothing to anyone. Then a lot of people felt like the internet put pressure on Little Durk to go and do this. And that's the main reason around why he did it. Like, the internet put pressure on him to go and get back for King Von. Everyone knew it. Everyone in the industry knew this. But guess what? Because this is the agenda of people seeing all this stuff happening and seeing the actual people die behind the stuff, they was waiting for Quando Rondo and Little Tim and all of that. This is what was happening, so the labels can start putting out more music and doing this stuff. And you know, it's crazy. Mama Duck lawyer came out and said that they are one step closer to getting some sort of victory when it comes to this lawsuit with Mama Duck. Like I just told you guys, paired with this one, that's how they're going to try and take it. That is crazy because everyone was thinking, why was it a civil lawsuit? It was a civil lawsuit because they didn't necessarily want to go against the label. They didn't necessarily want to take down the labels because of this deal, you know, to do with the prison business and all of it. So this right here is interesting because this is the reason why some people think that he will be out before December and stuff, because when this happens, he can be pardoned, and based on the people that he was around, he might just end up coming out. And isn't that interesting? Because I thought about, why do they pick all these rappers? Why is it the rappers that they pick to pardon and don't give someone else the spotlight? That's how you know they work with these rappers. They are working with them closely. And this lawsuit that should have been a criminal lawsuit, they made it into a civil lawsuit because the labels were involved. So if they did allow it to become criminal, other people could have done the same thing like Mama Duck. All the labels would come crashing down. That led to the situation happening and everyone see it and stuff. And it's very interesting how they can celebrate you, give you the keys to the city. It almost feels like he is no longer needed because he's not carrying that same agenda. He's not talking about the stuff. Think about this, right? Do you think if Little Durk had like 3, 4, 5 songs on Billboard right now, do you think they would have came and got him? No, they wouldn't have. And guess what? The music would have been the same subject, nothing different. All to do with what they want to see. They knew Quando Rondo was running around for his life and all this stuff. Little Tim and Quando Rondo, they let them out. They let that happen. They watch it happen. They know everything. They see everything. They watch everything, and yet they let it happen. Why they let it happen? Why did they just come and got Little Durk and them? They could have been got them, because guess what? This lawsuit that they're trying to make 3 separate lawsuits from is one big RICO. It's one big RICO. It's the RICO that everyone's been talking about Little Durk was going to be involved in. Did you guys see the one fan that was standing outside the courthouse? Everyone was laughing about it. Do you not think that was strategically done? That wasn't a fan. That was one of them. Literally, that was one of them in further effort to strip the power away from Little Durk, to make people forget that they were the same ones that was pushing the agenda, that was interviewing all the people, doing all the stuff. Do not forget the part that DJ played in all of this to keep the agenda going. And this is what it's about. And that's why right now, Ask yourself why all these celebrities, every time this stuff happen, right, they stand beside them, they give them keys to the city, they do all this stuff. Then as soon as a case come, they separate themselves with the quickness. They separate themselves so quick from these people. You have to think to yourself, why is that? What's going on? People forget that they were the same people standing beside them that uplifting. So isn't that interesting how the feds work with the industry, and then when they take down someone, the industry try to distance themselves from that person? It's very interesting. And then you hear nothing about it. Like, I cannot believe little Durk is inside there right now. So they've taken down the whole of OTF, they took down the whole of O Block, they took down everyone. And the crazy thing is, there is people out there right now who's going through stuff, who has a gang, who has the name and all this stuff. But if little Durk and King Von and all of them wasn't anyone, they would have let the stuff happen and let it continue like they did for the longest time, because none of these people want to sit down and investigate these stuff. And this is why the blogs and all this stuff is all part of the setup, because they don't want to sit down and do their jobs and investigate it and do all this stuff. So they put it out there, they put out the bogus information, baiting people and stuff, having people go crazy, and then they start investigating these cases that they need solved. And now, because of the internet stuff and because of all this stuff and how they've managed to trick people into actually giving their whole hood away, into giving the hood up, how they managed to trick people into doing that, this is what happened. Like, and along the way they watch people die, because that's all part of it as well. That's all part of the agenda. They want them either in jail or to die, and that's why they don't do nothing about it. They're still not doing nothing about the stuff that's actually going on besides little Durk. And then OTF Jam, they got into OTF Jam's head. And another thing as well, little Durk putting money on all the books. He said little Durk gave him 50k at one point. He used to make sure he was good inside. That's how it started as well. Little Durk putting money on the people's books. That's how it literally, that's how it started. Huge money coming in on people's books. Is too much money, is too much control. And this is why little Durk is where he is right now. People believe that they might even seize some of his assets. They're going to try and seize his assets for whatever reason, come up with a way to get all this money. So first they strip him of his power, then they seize all the assets, and you see all the stuff that he worked for and everything, it goes back to them. It all belongs to them, because he is not pushing the agenda anymore. They want him to push in the music and stuff. On top of that, the prison thing is like, people that is connected to little Durk in prison, they would have some high status in prison, and they would be able to control things. And then the money that's coming in, like, you could just see how they could have no control, right? So that's how it started. Like, little Durk putting money on people's books, and then it started being monitored of all the people's books that he's been putting money on and different things. And that's how they got OTF Jam. That's how they end up picking OTF Jam and thinking we can get him to turn against him. So they got OTF Jam to turn on him. They alerted the officials when he tried to flee the city and everything. And there is a couple ways that he can get out. The pardon, they're definitely going to try and get that. Another way is he could take some deal, make some deal with them of all the stuff that he know about going on in Chicago. And that's the only way they would probably let him out.